Is someone you love experiencing symptoms of menopause? You're not alone. Half the world's population will experience menopause, leaving the rest of us to wonder what the heck is going on? How long is this going to last? And what do I do? I've been in your position as well as hers. My partner abruptly entered menopause following a hysterectomy. Her experience, like many women, was more than hot flashes and mood swings. She suddenly faced weight gain, hair loss, thyroid dysfunction, loss of libido, and sleepless nights. It even led to a brief period of depression. Here's the thing, my partner is a badass. She's a veteran of the 86th Airborne, a brilliant flight surgeon. And in the civilian world, she's in the top 1% of her career and fitness level. She's broken her back, nearly died multiple times. But even she struggled through menopause. I won't sugarcoat it. Menopause is hard, but it's even harder without a support network and a whole community surrounding you. Throughout my years helping women navigate menopause, I can say with certainty that most women don't have a strong community supporting them throughout these transformative years. So thank you for being here with me right now and watching this on behalf of your loved one. Now let's dive in. Whatever your gender, we all have androgens, estrogens, and progesterones as our reproductive hormones. These are produced in your ovaries or testes, and your pituitary gland, and even in fat cells. For men, testosterone is your driving hormone. Testosterone is an androgen. Androgens are responsible for the development of facial hair, deepening of the voice, and muscle growth. And while both men and women have androgens and testosterone, they are stereotypically considered male hormones. Now, for men, testosterone levels slowly and gradually decline with age. This generally starts somewhere between the age of 40 and 55. And for 99.5% of men, the decline will be so subtle that you won't even notice. Eventually, you may notice a decline in sexual desire, fewer spontaneous erections, or maybe even erectile dysfunction. Only 0.5%, so 1 out of every 200 men, notice a sharp decline in their testosterone. As testosterone is an androgen, this male menopause is called andropause. And now, while men experience this gradual and almost unnoticed decline in hormones over time, women have quite a different experience altogether. And this can come with long term health consequences, which is why we're here today talking about this. For women, estradiol is the most important hormone. Estradiol is an estrogen. Estrogen is responsible for breast development, widening of the hips, and the onset of menstruation. While both men and women have estrogen, it is regarded as the female hormone. For women, declining estradiol is broken down into 3 distinct phases, and these are the 3 phases of menopause that we'll talk about. The first stage of menopause is perimenopause. This is the hormone roller coaster. The average age of onset is 42, but this can vary wildly and it can start as early as the 30s. During this time, women's ovaries decide to do their own thing, working overtime 1 minute and then quitting the next. This causes wild fluctuations in both estrogen and progesterone. When estrogen levels go too high, women experience weight gain, headaches, fatigue, even things like painful lumps in their breasts. On the other hand, when estrogen dips too low, women experience hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, trouble concentrating, dry skin, and irregular periods with heavy bleeding. Most women completely blow off these symptoms and don't even realize they're suffering perimenopause. And oftentimes, they're told by their doctors that there's nothing to do or that it's just stress. But here's the thing, perimenopause can last up to 10 years. The average is 3 to 6 years. The second stage is menopause. Once a woman goes exactly 1 year, 365 days without a period, that is the moment of menopause. Everything before this time is perimenopause. Everything after this moment is postmenopause. At this stage, our friend estradiol, the estrogen, begins a rapid decline. But here's the problem. Remember how estradiol is the most important hormone for women? Well, it turns out that both men and women need estradiol estrogen. We have lots of estrogen receptors in our brain, playing various roles from regulating our moods to sexual behavior to body temperature and mental function. So, being a support for a woman who's experiencing menopause is about far more than discomfort. Low estrogen levels over time can lead to more serious long term health effects, such as osteoporosis, where her bones might become fragile and more prone to fractures. There's also the risk of memory loss and cognitive changes. This goes far beyond just forgetting where you put your keys. It's about potentially facing long term difficulties with concentration and memory. She could even have an increased risk of heart disease, thyroid dysfunction, and various forms of cancer. And this is why menopause is a big deal. And this brings us to postmenopause. Postmenopause is exactly that, the phase of menopause where estrogen plummets after menopause. There are options for women to help mitigate the long term health effects of low estrogen. However, many come with side effects, and not all options are viable for every woman. The most popular option is an estrogen patch, an estradiol patch. This may or may not be used in conjunction with progesterone. This is known as hormone replacement therapy, HRT. But balancing hormones after menopause is tricky. This is because even if you get the dosage of estradiol correct and mitigate all the symptoms of high or low estrogen, there's also progesterone to worry about. If a woman's progesterone goes awry, it can cause symptoms like breast tenderness, weight gain, headaches, insomnia, mood disturbances. In the long term, this can cause increased endometrial cancer, blood clots, stroke, thyroid dysfunction, even autoimmune disease. So imagine trying to solve a puzzle where all the pieces keep changing shapes. That's how your loved one might feel when trying to manage the symptoms, the long term health effects, and their hormone levels. While HRT is the easiest path to regulating estrogen, there are side effects. And because of this, many women either don't qualify or they choose not to take HRT. Alternately, there are a slew of herbs, supplements, nutraceuticals, diets, and potions on the market. Some are backed by science, many are not. And it can be overwhelming. So let's discuss what you can do. Here's your action plan. First of all, empathy is your secret weapon, and your role is to be a steadfast supporter. Second, educate yourself by diving into resources. I've linked a few below. Knowledge is power. Third, have your loved one join the Bloomer Brigade. It's a community of women that support one another in a menopause sisterhood. And fourth, there's the Life Bloom Menopause Masterclass. This is designed to make these years some of the best of her life. It's a 90-day program that dives into menopause and gives her tools she needs so she can regulate her hormones, control her metabolism, regain her energy, minimize symptoms, and thrive. There's probably nothing she wants more in this world than to have her health and life back. The links to all of these suggestions are below. Thank you for being here today.